The Latin alphabet changes over time, over the course of several centuries, containing anywhere from 20 to 26 letters. This year we will use 21 letters, although this list depicts 24. What's missing? You don't see a J or a W, and U is kind of stuck down at the bottom. A W is unnecessary because the V is going to make that sound. J and U are recent developments to distinguish between the vowel and consonant uses of I and V. You'll notice the blue letters, K, Y, and Z. These only show up in Greek words that are adopted into Latin. Greek words will also show up with a TH, PH, or CH, always with hard sounds, T, P, and H. I've included the capital letters here, but you won't see much of them. They will only be used for proper nouns, the names of people and places. Originally, the Romans only used capital letters. The lowercase letters were invented by scribes long after the classical period to facilitate rapid writing. Traditionally, we now only use the capital letters for proper nouns. In fact, Latin sentences do not begin with a capital letter, although many Latin textbooks, including Wheelock's, do not observe this rule. But you will see the standard lowercase letters beginning sentences in actual Latin texts that you will read. So I ask you to remember to use a lowercase letter whenever you begin a sentence in Latin. One of the earliest post-classical changes was the addition of the letter U to cover the vowel uses of V. Later, the J was added to cover the consonant uses of I. We're going to be using both V and U, but we will not use J. So be ready to see I, the vowel I, acting as a consonant sometimes as well. So a vowel I or a consonant Y. So let's look at the consonants first. Latin consonants will always give you the same sound, with some very rare exceptions. That means that the language is fully phonetic, not subject to the weirdness of English that gives us light, L-I-G-H-T, or circus, where the C makes a K sound and then an S sound. Let's go through these one at a time. B gives us bibabant, they were drinking. C is always a hard C sound, k. Campus, meaning a field. D, donum. F, facilis. G is going to always be a hard G sound, never a J sound, not like George. G, gladius, meaning a sword. H, hortus, a garden. K, notice that you don't need a K in this alphabet since that sound already is made by the C, but it was traditionally used for names and for loan words from Greek. So Carthago, the city of Carthage in North Africa. L, linea, meaning a line. M, moneo, I warn. N, noem, is the number 9. P, porto, is I carry. Q will always be followed by a U, just like in English, and make that qu sound. Quid. R, rationem, reason. According to a lot of authorities, the ancient Romans rolled their R's. I can't make that sound, and I don't really believe that they did it, so treat it as a typical R sound, rationem. S, satis, meaning enough. T, tereo, I frighten. So V, the consonant V, makes that W sound. Venter. Venter means belly. X, just like in English, x. Pax, meaning peace. Now the Y and Z, called the Y and Zeta, give us the word zootum, which is a kind of Egyptian beer. But again, those two letters aren't really part of the Latin alphabet. Now let's turn to vowels. The first thing you're going to notice is that a whole lot of vowels are wearing little hats. Not little pointy hats like in French, but little straight hats called macrons, from the Greek word for big. So vowels A, E, I, O, and U come in two forms, short and long. The long vowels will be marked. Not every Latin text from the ancient world marks these, but our textbook will mark them throughout, and there are many times where you're really going to need to know the difference in meaning caused by the difference in long or short vowel. So we've got to start putting these macrons in place, and when you learn words, learn where they go. Sound them out, because the sounds are a bit different. Short A, or like in at. A long A, like in father. So Hear the difference? I don't really either. Much clearer with the E. A short E, eh. A long E, eh. Big difference in the I's as well. Short I, eh, like in tin. A long I, E, like in machine. A short O, top. A long O, over. A short U, like in put. A long U, like in rude, but not really like two O's in English. Not ooh, but like ooh. I think it's easier for French people to make that sound. Don't forget the difference between that U and the consonant V, like in winum, meaning wine. Back to the I for a moment. Remember that sometimes the I will be consonantal, like in ure, from the word for law. We also have diphthongs to deal with. What is a diphthong? Diphthongs are single vowel sounds made with two vowels. Like in the English word boil, OI, is a diphthong, making one sound, boil. That is the sound we'll hear from an OE diphthong in Latin. An AE diphthong makes an I sound, like in English isle. So puellae. OE, poina. Puella is a girl. Poina is a punishment. AU is pretty common as well. Makes an ow sound, like house. Audio. Audio, I hear. Much less common. When you see an E and an I together, they're usually separate, like de integro. But occasionally they're one syllable, like dende, making that sound just like the EI in rain. Dende. EU is a tough one. That's pretty rare in Latin. But it's one syllable that we can't really make. Eu, you have to run the e and the u together really fast to make one syllable, like in this word so. Also, u before an I is usually not a diphthong. It only happens in hui and cui, where it makes it sound like the Spanish muy, but one syllable. So the phrase cui bono, for whom as a benefit, is not the same as fuit, the verb he, she, it was. Fuit, separate. So watch out for those last three diphthongs, but the first three are very common. So practice pronouncing Latin words, repeating after me. Laudamus, cogito, saepe, debet, monetus, quid, salves, servant, conserves, me, dare, errare, valent, videt, nihil, si, amant, non, terratus, vocamus, servo. These are all words from the Chapter 1 vocabulary. This next set comes from the Chapter 2 vocabulary. Repeat after me, and then listen through again, saying them before I do. Nautas, mea, est, multa, irai, et, poina, poina, poetis, famam, puellam, portarum, formae, sine, sententia, vita, antiqua, patriae, magnis, tuarum, pecuniam. These words come from the Chapter 3 vocabulary. Again, repeat after me and then go back and repeat before me. Number 1, farmer. Agricolas, hodie, filiam, numeris, satiatis, populum, agri, puero, sapientiae, viri, avaros, semper, feminarum, paucis, Romani, de, habent, amicos. Now I'll read this entire paragraph. Read it out loud to yourself. You don't need to know what the words mean, but recognize that the pronunciation will be consistent. Omnes initium feriarum animis alacribus expectabant quamquam locus communis et atrium magnum ignes flagrantes habebant. Tamen transitus ventosi facti erant glaciales, et in auditoriis ventus acerbus fenestras quatiebat. Nil peius erat quam classes professoris Snape deorsum in carceribus habitae. Ubi spiritus in nebula ante eos surgebat, neque procul a levetibus calidis aberrabant. You may recognize this as a passage from that great novel Harry S. Potter et Philosophiae Lapis, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, translated into Latin a few years ago by an utter lunatic. I mean, who would spend time on that? Anyway, maybe we'll get a chance to read some more of that together. Keep practicing your pronunciation, and good luck.